Russian roulette is a game where you put one bullet into the chamber of a revolver, spin the cylinder, and then pull the trigger while the gun is pointing at your head. Sounds like a dumb game, right? Yeah, I thought so too, until I realized that this is the game that parents are playing when they don't vaccinate their children. Will they get the disease? Will they not? Who knows? Let's find out. Boom. Measles outbreak. During this time of the striking against vaccinations, the concern that was most obvious was the bringing back of diseases that vaccines had once gotten rid of. In 2019 alone, there's already been an outbreak of the measles and hepatitis A. The main concerns that citizens need to be aware of is the parents who are refusing to vaccinate their children. Parents are refusing to vaccinate their children because they think it's a link to the special needs disorder autism. The problem is not the diseases are making a comeback or that parents aren't vaccinating. The problem that we are facing is that parents are too afraid to vaccinate their kids. With today's technology and medicine, there's no reason why parents should be afraid to vaccinate their children. I think a lot of the fear comes from the internet. Think about how many times you're on your phone scrolling through Facebook, and you just roll your eyes at another one of Tracy's posts regarding vaccines. But now imagine that you're someone who believes everything that you see or hear on the internet is true. And imagine that you come across Tracy's posts, which leads to other anti-vaxxers' posts. And eventually, with all the things that you are reading, you start to believe, just like Tracy did. But instead of arguing back and forth with other moms on Facebook, pro-vaxxers need to educate those who are anti-vaxxers. So, here's your solution. For instance, in 1998, a man by the name of Andrew Wakefield was the one who actually started the debate if there was a link between vaccines and autism. A man by the name of Mark Barna wrote in his article titled Autism Spectrum Disorder about Wakefield's assumption and what it had caused. Barna stated, "Over the years, many studies have found no link between autism and childhood vaccinations. Instead, most experts say Wakefield's work set back autism research and created unwanted fear about childhood vaccinations that still lingers today." This is the fear that I was talking about in the parents who are too afraid to vaccinate their children. Wakefield's theory of autism caused him to lose his medical license, making him no longer able to practice or perform medicine. If a doctor losing his medical license over his assumptions about vaccines doesn't make you question your anti-vaxxer choices, then maybe this might. Vaccines have been proven to be safe by the Center of Biologics Evaluation. Author of the book Vaccinations, America's Changing Relationship with Immunizations, Elena Konis wrote, "Before licensing a vaccine for use, the FDA's CBER evaluates the vaccine's safety profile, its ability to provoke an immune response, its ability to protect against diseases, and its interaction with other drugs and vaccines. If a vaccine was unsafe for use, practitioners will not be able to use them. The government's concern is citizen safety. So why would the government knowingly allow vaccines that are going to be harmful to the people around them and to themselves? Simply educating those who have their opinions would create a significant difference. Also, by simply vaccinating your children, the number of diseases will decrease. Even if your child has been vaccinated, they can still be affected by those who have not. Vaccines work by prompting the body's immune system to generate antibodies and other immune cells that recognize and attack bacteria and viruses. However, when skeptical societies protect against vaccines, there are less people or fewer antibodies to protect against the disease, causing outbreaks even in those who have received the vaccinations, because the antibodies in your body are not strong enough to fight off a huge portion of the population's virus. If the United States continues on this path of not vaccinating their children, more diseases will spread. When more diseases spread, more people die. In 2018 alone, 349 cases of the measles were confirmed. This is the second greatest number of annual cases reported since the measles were eliminated in the US in 2001. Since the measles were eliminated in 2000, this means that we had gotten rid of the disease and we had brought it back. We brought the disease back because we were not vaccinating our children. This was just one disease with an 8-year difference. Now imagine in another 10 years. with 5 more diseases. What do you think the outcome will look like? How many more diseases do you think we can bring back that were once diminished and gone because we are not vaccinating our children? An average of 450 measles cases associated with death were reported each year between 1953 and 1963. Widespread use of the vaccines has led to greater than 95% reduction in measles. This means that just because they were using the vaccine to protect against a measles disease for themselves, they were doing something for themselves. They were, looking out for themselves, protecting themselves against a disease. And just by doing that, more than 95% of the cases in the measles were reduced. In 1995, there were 1.1 million deaths worldwide from measles. If vaccines were not used, 2.7 million deaths could be expected, as opposed to 2.7. Vaccines were invented in order to prevent diseases and keep people healthy. The government would not issue vaccines if they were unsafe to use or cause harmful side effects. If we take action today, we can make going to school for your children a lot safer. If those parents vaccinate their children who have not yet been, we can stop this problem before it gets worse and out of control. If we take this action today, then we can stop this disease outbreak once and for all.